And welcome to Bullseye. Darek Sharp alongside Caylee, Cottrell, and Joey Johnston. Recapping yet another Bulls victory. USF now 6-1 and ranked 18th according to the smart writers on the AP poll, and the very rapidly catching on coaches number 20 in their poll. And 48-13 against FAU, a team that we talked about coming off a performance where they put up more than 50 against a UAB team that, by the way, pulled off something last week against Memphis. So it continues to be so good on both sides of the ball. Caylee and Joey, we'll start with you, Caylee.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on that one?
I mean, so fun. First of all, the environment. I mean, an electric homecoming,
yes.
That's for sure, and it makes a difference for our guys. I talked to Wyatt after the game, and he said, you know, it's so cool to see the alumni come back, the former players come back, and they were the ones that built this, so to ball out for them is super cool. And I mean, for me, it was fun to talk to him about this receivers group and the depth in that room and how tight they are. I mean, if you look at, we talked about after Eccles' touchdown, he went up to Koger and said, you know, like, you started this, mentioning his 22-yard catch earlier to start that drive, and
cool.
They're just so quick to lift each other up. And talking about that with him, he was like, it's such a brotherhood, and they celebrate each other, and it's just a fun culture to be around.
Wyatt Sullivan, former FAU Owl, who had a very manly finish to that touchdown that he scored.
Dragged an
And
FAU
it's just
player
amazing,
with him.
Joy, as she sort of alluded to, that group, you know, without Chaz Nimrod right now, of course, without Tay Norton, you see a guy like Alvon Isaac get a little bit dinged up, and it just seems like there's this endless supply of talent in those groups.
Yeah, the depth at all the skill positions is really impressive. That's one of the biggest things that's caught my eye and everybody's eye about this team. And you're right, the young players are producing. The offense is just kind of doing what it wants in a lot of these games and doing what's necessary to win. And the thing that, you know, sort of escapes attention is it's 48-13, but they held the team to 13 points. I know Florida Atlantic is pretty potent on offense. You hold anybody to 13 points these days, that's a pretty good accomplishment. You just don't see it. So defensively playing great and offensively scoring a lot of points. And when you get that, you win a lot of games.
And they were able to overcome the middle of the game where we all thought it was 28-3 at halftime because of that incredibly exciting play by Rico Watson. Was taken back because it was technically an incomplete pass. But so much on that offense. Top 10 in the country now in scoring and in yards, both of those key categories. But I do want to, before we get more into it with head coach Alex Golesh and Tavin Ward, a great member of that defense, mentioned homecoming. You got to see a pretty cool thing on Friday the day before.
Yeah, they brought a lot of old players, alumni back, former players to tour the stadium site essentially with our CEO of athletics, Rob Higgins. And everybody got a good look at the construction. But one thing they did is they've created a time capsule for all of the former players to put artifacts into. Matt Grothe, for example, the former quarterback, was here, and he put his Hall of Fame speech for USF athletics in there. He put the ticket stub from the overtime win against Auburn in 2007. That's in there.
Awesome.
And everybody put, you know, pictures, ticket stubs, different things. And they're gonna bury it underneath an area where the players, you know, come out beginning at the new stadium. So it's kind of a cool way to bring the old players back, but that memorabilia is cool stuff. I almost hate to see it buried. I mean, if it ever gets dug up, it's going to be cool to look through it all.
Did you steal a glance at the code?
Yeah.
We don't know where the stuff went.
One thing they said, and I don't know what they're going to do about it, but I think they had so many artifacts that they were saying this thing's too small. We need a bigger time capsule. So maybe they have to adjust that a little bit.
That's
But really cool to see all the old guys back, and they're all just looking around saying, "Holy cow! Look at all this stuff." You know?
I know it wouldn't go in there, but this way this team is playing, maybe a conference championship trophy. Again, you wouldn't put it in the artifacts area, but they are collecting wins and rankings and are in a great spot to possibly get in that conversation, and they're already in it, and this week's game is going to be very important. So we'll talk to Alex Golesh about it and Tavin Ward here on the show. But before we get there, let's flash back with a cinematic recap to the win against FAU.
Homecoming, kickoff set for 7:30.
Big picture-wise for South Florida, bright things ahead. As for tonight, this is a very unique matchup. You will not find a college football game in the country that is faster paced than this.
So you better keep your eyes focused on the TV because these teams move fast.
It starts and finishes with this group. You got to show them, you got to do it. Next man up. Man, play. We got next to you. Go ball out. Let's have a day. Let's go.
We are underway. Will the college football playoff hopes continue? Brown feels the pressure. He's got plenty of space. And Byron Brown has the first down. Brown outside. Got it. And it looks like it's enough for a first down. Brown outside again. That is the third catch for Singleton on this drive. 30, snap to Brown. Wide open up the middle. Touchdown USF. 11th play of the opening drive. And oh, a big negative play. Flying out of nowhere, it was Mac Harris. Christian Neptune, the talented freshman. Got a little bit of extra room. Pushed out at the 40-yard line. Side run for Brown. Oh, a little sidestep. Brown still on his feet. Accelerating and dances out of bounds. Brown with all kinds of time. Brown finally throws deep and complete. See if USF can take advantage. Going to the end zone, wide open. The tight end, Jonathan Eccles. 4 of his 7 career catches for touchdowns. Little pooch kick, and picked up. Oh, what a play. Brown slipping away. Brown has space again. Brown going for the corner of the end zone. The angle cut off. The 4th and goal, USF jumbo package. It is Skinner again. Second straight week. Brown will throw it. Stepping in, down the sideline. Singleton pulls it in. Set back again for FAU. Another negative play. 3rd and medium. Oh, it's caught. That was Neptune. And the freshman on a huge 3rd down. Brown pulls, throws, trying to catch the edge. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Wyatt Sullivan, the tight end. Brown wants it all. Open man, sideline. A little underthrown. It's caught. Koger, end zone. Pressure with 4. Deflected and picked. Rico Watson. And the turnover machine continues to roll on for the Bulls. Got in late. Tavin Ward just won't go down. South Florida rolls in the second half, 6-1, and continue to control their own destiny.
Love coming out of those cinematic recaps. Again, the team doing its thing, which is both sides of the ball. Offense, top 10 nationally, a lot of stuff. Defense, we're going to get specifics on all of that, Alex. But I'm going to start off with the crowd. I thought it was fantastic. Biggest homecoming crowd, I think, since 2009. And they were electrified and entertained right from the beginning.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. It was, I saw the numbers of how many students, like how cool is that? We got over 11,000 students at the game, and that end zone's awesome. To have that lower bowl full is awesome. I know our players are grateful, and I know our staff is grateful as well, but I hope as more and more people come out and as we continue to build the brand, that we're able to give them something to cheer about, we're able to give them some entertainment value. I think playing at night and coming out and those lights are green and it gives you goosebumps. It's incredible. And I said it when I first got here, that's what we hope to build here is a product that people can be proud of, a product that people want to come watch. And hopefully you're getting them at a young age and you're developing Bulls fans for generations to come. I feel like we've done it at a very grassroots level through our first couple of years, and I know Rob Higgins has worked really hard just in his short time here to electrify the fan base, the alumni base. And we're going to continue to need to do that as we continue to play meaningful games.
There's a lot you could talk about in this game, but one thing that was interesting, you're up 14-7. Chase Leon kicks off, and he tries the little pooch kick, the bunt kick, and it's recovered by Jaquan Smith. You get another possession. I mean, it takes a little bit of a risk to try something like that. What was your thinking, and why'd you like to do it at that spot?
Yeah, we went into the game, and I told our staff on Friday, listen, if we've up 2 scores or just scored and got some momentum to try to essentially capture it and keep it going, and honestly in a lot of ways try to end it. And I think in this game you got to try to land a knockout punch, and you guys that have been around our staff for a while know that we'll certainly try that was my attempt to land a knockout punch early. And that you only benefit from that if you get it and then you go score. And what happens is you score back to back and you feel like, all right, I'm in control of this game. And by I'm in control, I mean we are as a team in control of this game. Now, there's the period right after that we got to go and continue to put it together. But I felt like when you're up 3 possessions that early in the game, it changes how you play the game on the other side. And you feel pressure to score quickly and you feel like you're behind. And I think if you can dictate the tempo of the game, you've got a really good chance to win it. And that was our attempt to go do that, and executed incredibly well between the kick and then Jaquan. I mean, Jaquan had to go get that football, and we worked it a bunch, and we were confident going in. We wanted to make sure that that thing was on our sideline, just to make sure that schematically nobody saw exactly what was going on. So it was well executed, and a lot of credit to Majewski again and Chad Creamer and that crew, but the kids going and executing it was big time.
Of course, it led to another Cole Skinner. We hate to be redundant on the show, but of course he would punch it in and it would go from there. Now, as you mentioned, there was a little bit of a lull there offensively, but that defense, Joey's neighbor, is good these days.
He's great. He's riding high, man. He's in good headspace.
He approves of the defensive performance. We could talk about the turnovers as we always do, but I want to ask you specifically about one part of it, because all these stats that are great, I had to actually look up interception return yard average, because it seems like you take an interception as an opportunity to do something with the ball, as in this case Rico Watson did. And you guys do average 23 yards a return, so is that something you stress? And again, speak on the interceptions, it's just been fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's an attitude more than anything else, that when you're able to either scoop and score or pick a ball off, that everybody on that unit is tied into now the return part. The biggest thing you got to coach is, one, that you don't create a penalty off of that situation. You see a lot, and we use other teams as teaching tools weekly, but you see a lot of blocks in the back or low blocks or things like that. I think Coach Orlando and that staff do an incredible job of teaching, one, where that ball should be going, two, what bodies get on what bodies, and three, that the fact that those blocks are clean. And then, honestly, probably as much as anybody, we coach the heck out of the ball security piece, because it does you no good to then turn it right back over. And knock on wood, we've done a good job of taking advantage of those opportunities in terms of the interceptions. But those are such high momentum plays. Those are such high opportunities to create short fields, that they're monumental when they happen, and we've got to be able to take advantage of them.
Nice. So we go on to Memphis. It's a big game because it's the next game. I got that. Nationally, though, people are looking at these two teams as two of the real contenders in the American, so it's a big game for everybody around the country. And as we saw last week, if you're not ready, you can slip up. Memphis got beat by UAB. So in this big game, next game scenario, what's on your mind about what you got to do to be successful here?
Yeah, I think a lot of things. One, you got to be able to go out on the road and create your own energy and create your own juice level. It's an early game, which, man, we haven't had a lot of. And so the ability to go from your prep Thursday into Friday into the travel piece, and then waking up Saturday and you're going. Obviously, we practice in the mornings, which gives you some level of confidence, in the sense that your guys are up and ready every morning. But I think more than anything else, we've got to be able to flip the page really quickly and prepare in a different way, meaning the scheme that you're getting ready for, specifically offensively, so different than what we've seen here through these first 6 weeks. And a little bit like on the other side, getting ready for an option offense, you're getting ready for a defense that presents so many unique challenges from a preparation standpoint, from being able to teach in a short time, the guys being able to learn in a short time. The guys that played last year saw it. I would tell you I've tried to erase last year's game from everybody's minds, Men in Black style with the little zapper thing. But it creates challenges that way. It creates challenges defensively because you really don't know what quarterback you're preparing for.
Right.
And so there's some unknown, but it's going to be huge for us to start early, settle into the game, and gain confidence as the game goes, because these guys create havoc defensively. They create turnovers at the same rate we do. They're top, I think, 10 in the country in turnovers gained, and then they create some different challenges in the run game and certainly in the pass game. So it's going to be a lot of challenges based on the circumstance. Our job is to go be the best version of us, play really hard, eliminate mistakes, and go have fun playing football on national TV again for the entire country to see as we continue to build our brand, continue to tell our story. I know our guys will be really excited.
Their starting quarterback went down in the second half last week, Brendan Lewis, kind of like Byron Brown, dual threat, and not by coincidence. These two teams are 15th and 16th in the country in rushing. I say all that to try and ask a different question about Byron this time. We could do with the top 6 in the country as far as total offense, all those fantastic things. What I've noticed about him that has been elite, in my opinion, is his decision making as far as ball fakes, that kind of thing, not just Cole Skinner acting like you're going to pitch the ball, but he knows what he's doing out there, and it seems like it's intentional as far as misdirection when you need to throw that in. How much does he work on that?
Yeah, it's the game within the game. That's what you get in the second and third year in a system that one, the system is consistent, the coaching is consistent, and then the young man is as tough, willing, smart to learn and grow. Byron was, one, highly intelligent, but he now, being his third year with us, he knows what he needs to work on. He knows where he's deficient. He knows what he excels in. Just even sitting down with him and talking through the game plan, he'll tell you exactly what he wants, when he wants it, how he wants it, the order and the sequencing of the third downs. He's on another level mentally right now, and he'll be the first to tell you there's a whole nother level on top of this for him to take. But the game within the game, the small things that create huge differences, like you said, the ball fakes, the carrying out, the run reads, the progression in the pass game, all of those things that you see from his first year to now are, honestly, it's a credit to obviously our staff being able to teach, but more than our staff being able to teach, it's a young man that's spent more time in this building than anybody else, spent more time working on his craft than anybody else. And the perfectionist that he is, he continues to chase greatness every single day, understanding that there's going to be some tough moments too, but he's so hungry to continue to get better and grow. It's contagious to watch. It's contagious to be around. And as he's grown and held others accountable, he's elevated other people's game with him, which is what elite quarterbacks do.
So you got Byram at a very high level. You've also got your defense at a very high level. You allow 13 points to Florida Atlantic. It's tough to hold anybody to 13 points in college football. You've got 17 turnovers, that leads the nation. I mean, we've talked about it all season, but speak about just the level of consistency and performance that we've seen from this defense.
Yeah, I think it starts with the leadership on that side of the ball. You talk about player-driven leadership. I think Mac Harris has developed into one of the best leaders on our team. The pride that he's taken really from when we got back in January. And T.O. talks nonstop, preaches, shows what elite level defense looks like. And it starts with communication. It ends with 11 bodies running to the ball as hard as they can. And in the middle of that is a violent, relentless approach to attacking the football, whether it's a ball carrier, a quarterback, a ball in the air. But that's a culture that's obviously taken time to build, but can only be enforced within the unit. And it's upheld by Mac, it's upheld by Shu, it's upheld by Tavin. And now you got guys like James Chenault who is watching and saying, okay, that's what it looks like. and Ruck leading the charge, and Fred Gaskin, another young guy that's like, okay, Tav, that's what I do. Okay, I'll do what you say, and is now holding others accountable. And then you look at that front and what KP's done in terms of building the culture in that room of relentless and toughness and grit that it takes to play D-line here. And there's a guy that was here in terms of KP that was here at the beginning, and then he was here in the middle, and now he's here now with incredible experience, but a toughness and a grit that it takes to play defensive line here. I think it's all a mentality. Obviously, scheme matters, coaching certainly matters, but I would tell you the difference right now is that it's player-led, and when it's player-led, it's contagious, and when it's player-led and there's elite level of trust on that side of the ball, you got a chance to go be really successful. And playing defense in modern-day college football is really hard. Yeah. Coaching defense is maybe the worst job in the world because like you said, you play FAU last week, and that ball's coming out. They're snapping it every 7 seconds. The ball's coming out as fast as you can. Quarterback's 6'5", 240 pounds. Like, there's like so many, and there's just bodies everywhere. To be able to slow down, play one play at a time, understand that, hey, they're gonna get some plays, but the key is, and I would tell you the story of our defense beyond any of those stats is the red zone defense, and the ability to bend at times, but create havoc when you get in the red zone, meaning being tougher than your opponent for longer in a drive, and knowing that if you could just make them snap it again, eventually the offense will jack it up. And they continue to live that way, and it's been contagious. I told our defense yesterday, in front of the entire team, attitude, effort, toughness, grit starts with the defense, and the culture in a program is set by the defense. And I told him, we can score as many points as you want on offense. The attitude, the effort, the toughness, the grit, the relentless pursuit of an elite program starts with defensive football. And the way that they're playing is inspiring. The way that they're connecting with the offense is inspiring. And we just have to continue to keep it going. And it takes one bad day to jack it all up, and my job is to make sure we don't have a bad day.
Well, part of that red zone defense, you remind me, it was an elite timeout on the first drive. You're doing everything so well. Keep it up, and best of luck against Memphis.
Appreciate it.
Hey, one of those members that he just recognized, Tavin Ward, and his special roommate will come up, I'm sure. A big member of the defense joins us next. As we continue with our player guests this week, Darek Sharp, Caylee, Cottrell, and Tavin Ward, the quarterback of the defense. So don't worry, we'll let you talk about other players. We're going to talk a little bit about you, Mr. Fort Myers, but before we get into that, last weekend, pretty nice performance by the defense, holding a good offense down, and also a great crowd. What did you think?
Yes, sir. I mean, the environment was amazing. You know, it's exciting to see all those people out there to come and support us. You know, coming from where I come from, a few years back, you know, the crowd didn't always look like that. So to see what we're building here and to continue to build out there and to see the love and support we have from all of Tampa, you know, it's really exciting, and it gets the team fired up to play.
Absolutely.
How much of a difference does a crowd like that make for you guys with the energy that they give you on the field?
Oh, it makes a lot of difference. You know, some games, you know, you have to go to and create your own energy. But when we're home at Ray J, we know the type of environment we're going to get. We know how supportive our fans are. So we just have to go out there and put on a show for them. So it just gives us an edge to go play for the city of Tampa.
I love that student section. You can always tell when they're packed and really involved in the game. A, what do you think about the student section? And B, isn't it cool that the future stadium is going to have its own little special student section? I'm sure you've seen those pictures.
Yeah, I've seen the renderings of them. It's amazing. You know, the students, we're still students as well. So, you know, some of them we know. That part is amazing, you know, to see the support from the students to take time out of their Saturday to come out there and support us. It's not something we always had, like I said, and to go out there and put on for the students and then come back and see them on campus. You know, they'll say something while we're at the MSC, while we're at Chick-fil-A, anything, and it's just a great connection that we have with them.
Awesome.
Now, your support system, your family, do they come to games quite often? Tell us about that.
Oh yeah, they come to all the home games. They've been to a few away games, but mostly
awesome.
The home games they can make it to.
Love
Real
that.
quick before we get back to football, I'm sure a lot of people, when they heard you drop the Chick-fil-A reference, what's your favorite sauce? Because it's an important question.
I like Polynesian sauce. I'm not a big
That's my
condiments guy
go-to,
though,
too.
so.
Okay, we have to have a discussion on not being a big condiments guy. I can help you out with that. Their actual Chick-fil-A sauce, give it a shot. There's a big bottle of it in my fridge. Now, this guy, you might have heard of his roommate. We'll talk about the defense, don't worry. But as the quarterback of the defense, it makes even more sense when you learn that his roommate is Byram Brown. But people might hear that for the first time and go, when they put the offense players together, when did you guys sort of forge a bond? Or was it forged for you when you were made roommates? How'd that work?
It was our freshman year, so Byram, he's very picky. So he asked if there was anybody qualified that would live with him that's clean, somebody that keeps the area clean, as a very neat guy. Yeah, as a very neat guy. All his shirts are color coordinated in his closet, so he was trying to find somebody along those lines. So our freshman year, he had a 1-bedroom that he had to move out of, so they recommended me for him, and we've just been clean ever since we moved from Bellarmine to our new spot now. So.
Wow. What do we not know about him? What's he like as a roommate?
He's the same person here as he is at home. It's really a good connection with him. Like he doesn't fake anything anywhere, and how y'all see him here is exactly how he is.
Well, I swear we're going to get to the defense, but I got to keep going with this. First of all, your teeth are pretty darn white. Do you have to fight for teeth brushing time? Tell people.
So when we shared a bathroom, we had to, but he would always take forever. So I had to get in where I fit in, But I've taken a few things from his steps because look at him,
And
His teeth are fine.
and then the other part is, someone they had to recommend somebody that was neat and clean. How did you become that person? How did you get noticed?
I don't really know the full conversation
okay.
too. He just said he went and asked, and my name was the one that popped up first. So.
You were tidy too.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get in where you fit in on defense. You started off at cornerback. You moved to safety. You've been fantastic. I wanted to break that move down a little bit. I know you do a lot more as far as play calling goes back there. Skill set wise, what's the major differences?
The major difference is moving from press man to more off man. At corner, you can go up there on the line of scrimmage and get your hands on a dude, like right at the snap of the ball. While at safety, you have to play off, so it's like a 3-man go, so you kind of have to have like a little bit better of a reaction time. So that's been the biggest difference so far.
Yeah.
And Coach Rowe coaching this group, what's he like to work with? He's such a cool guy.
Oh yeah, Coach Rowe's amazing. The transition from corner to safety, he was one of the first people I've talked to. He made the transition so smooth. Anything I needed, come out here, do walkthroughs. He'd spend extra meeting time with me, just trying to make sure that I was comfortable in the position because they didn't want to just move me and it was something I wasn't comfortable with. So being able to connect with him for the past 2 years now has been amazing.
And he did call you the quarterback of the defense, so tell people, I know you've got a lot of leaders on the defense, so linebackers are pretty good, by the way. They're the top 2 tacklers, and this is Mr. Third tackler on the team. But what goes into getting people in the right spots? How much effort and how much time do you have to put in, to get to that point where you can do it smoothly as you do?
Right, most of that happens off the field. The connection I have with the linebackers, with the D-line, with the corners, I just have to be able to trust that they know as much as I know, so it makes my job easier to make the call. I don't have to sit there and line everybody up before the play because they know what they're doing, especially Mac and Shu 24/7. Those guys are amazing.
Well, talking about off the field, we heard you spend a lot of time in the film room. Why is that so important to you in your process?
Yeah, I'd say I learned that from Rowe, actually. The play is made in the film room, like way before you even step on the field. So you have to get a gist of what's coming. You can't just be out there playing blind, honestly. It's not like high school anymore, so everybody's faster. Everybody's out there trying to get to the same place, so.
This is a guy that in high school, by the way, was also a quarterback, obviously, and 2,500-yard guy. But as far as the watching of the film, are you doing a lot? I'm sure it's both, but more watching yourself and your team and learning what needs to change, good and bad, or is it a lot of the opponent and getting used to what's coming?
Figuring out what needs to change, I kind of leave that part up to the coaching. For me, it's more of the opposing team. I watch the quarterbacks and the slot receivers most of the time. I leave the tight ends to the boundary safety, but just trying to get a gist of how they play and how the quarterback goes through his reads and kind of have that internal clock to see, when to go and when to pull the trigger.
It's working.
Talking about this opposing offense that you're going against, right? So last year I interviewed Byram and I asked him who on the defense it would be the toughest to match up against? And he said my roommate, Tavin Ward. So on the flip side for you, how happy are you that our offense, with how fun and creative they are, you're on the same team with them and you don't have to go up against them?
Right. I mean, that part's amazing. You know, I would hate to have to go up against those guys. Those are some good receivers, and in practice, you know, we get great looks because they're always going 100. We're always going 100. So iron sharpening iron at its finest right there.
Okay, so if you guys go 100, FAU, where would you put them? Because they were pretty fast.
Right.
Offensively, you were ready for it, but what would you say, 98, 99 for FAU? Mid-90s?
Right. I feel like they were pretty good, but we've also got a lot of practice. Our offense is just as fast, maybe not, maybe even faster. So we were definitely prepared.
You could tell. Now, a couple things we've got to talk about when we bring up the defense. Let's start off with the turnovers. 10 interceptions on the team. I know that's top 10 in the country. Let's go with that part first. The mentality of being a defense that's going to turn you over.
Right. That's just being disruptive, you know, as well as knowing what you're doing and when to do it. You know, that comes in the film room as well. But we run and we hit, and people, honestly, like you can see it all over the field, like they're preparing to get hit. So the ball's a lot looser than, you know, most other teams.
Well, that takes me right into the other part of the defense, the physicality. And it's at all levels. I mean, Mac, our radio analyst, Sam Barrington, former Bull, questioned his sanity for some of the stuff he does out there because he just doesn't care about his body. He's incredible. But your secondary, everybody, you can speak to your whole group. When did you kind of know that this could be a defense that could be known for absolutely punishing people?
Right, that started in the spring, you know, with the workouts before we led into spring football. You can just see the mindset these guys had. It was different from what it's been, and that was like really motivating to everybody. And anybody that wasn't on that page kind of like stuck out like a sore thumb. So weed those guys out and go with what we have, and you knew it was going to be great.
Interesting.
So in your position, what would fire you up more? Would it be a pick six? Would it be a goal line stop? What is it for you?
That's a tough one. For me, it's got to be a pick six. You
Yeah.
know, scoring on defense is hard, so definitely a pick six.
What about where does absolutely dislodging a ball from a receiver or would-be receiver's body? Right?
Where would that be?
Yeah, pretty good feeling.
Yeah, that's got to be a close second right there. That's got to be a close second for sure.
Well, you can do all those things this week. As we start to wrap it up, I know you guys have passed the test this year and you've had some big tests. This seems like it's going to be a very interesting one that a lot of people are watching, so what do you say?
Right, I say let's just do the same things we've always done, you know, don't necessarily focus on the opponent, but focus on us. The standard is the standard, and just continue building what we have been for the last 3 years.
And number 2, Tavin Ward wearing the rip shirt. Could you tell people on the way out what's going on there?
Well, you know, I don't really know. The long sleeve is 3XL, I'm pretty sure.
What?
So
No way.
The collar comes way down here, and I didn't like that. So I got a shirt to put on top of it, so the collar is a little tighter.
Keep doing what you're doing
Doubled
from a
up.
fashion sense as the leader of the defense, or one of the big leaders on this team and the defense. Thanks a lot, Tavin.
Thanks, Al.
All right, we will wrap it up talking a little bit about that opponent that's going to take on the Bulls this week in Tennessee. So Tavin Ward, obviously an outstanding individual, but does any of that surprise you about Byram, the color coordination in the closet?
Honestly, when he said that, picturing a closet like that, picturing Byram, I think it makes total sense. And can we also talk about the 2 megawatt smiles in that apartment? Like, they don't even need to turn on the lights, just smile and it just flashes like crazy. I bet they're so great.
I mean, it was also good, Joey, to hear Coach Golesh speak specifically on just the preparation level, because we sometimes get stuck, and thank goodness the stats have been great to get stuck in, but that part of it, but the other part of it's so impressive with him.
Yeah, just the attention to detail is just amazing from number 17. Truly a remarkable talent, but just the way he approaches it is impressive. How early he gets here, how hard he works, how he takes care of his body, and just how he pours into his teammates. I mean, he's quite a remarkable kid, a remarkable talent, generational talent that we're going to remember around here for a long time. So we need to appreciate the Byram Brown era because it's pretty special.
He did say, they try to wipe out the last game from their memories, and it's understandable. It seems like we're such a far cry from that game last year. It was after Byram had gotten hurt. Yeah. It was displaced due to the hurricane. Do you remember much about that? I know you were
I just
there.
remember the oddity of it, of driving to Orlando, of being on the sidelines, and not many people in the stands, obviously, because of the circumstances. And things went really well for Memphis quickly. I think they scored on their first 2 drives, and then USF played pretty well the rest of the way, but they couldn't get in the end zone. Bryce Archie was starting his first game after Byram's injury. It was 21-3. USF had it within its grasp for a long time, but couldn't get there. But just a weird kind of game that, had they played it later, maybe they do a lot better. But yeah, it's not something you're going to look back on with great fondness for sure.
But we bring it up because it just shows you how things have drastically changed, all for the good. And of course, I can't leave without asking about your food situation going to Memphis. Do you seek out barbecue?
Yeah,
I bet you don't,
I
Caylee.
think no, I like barbecue. I'm a fan of barbecue.
Okay.
Yeah, I
All
think a little stroll down Beale Street for dinner would be nice.
For sure.
Never seen it, so.
For sure. Don't stop twice at Rendezvous Ribs. Go in there if your stroll takes you there. But,
noted. Noted.
We'll get a full food recap. Actually, we won't get the food recap next week because it is a bye before the Bulls return on a Thursday night game against UTSA. So no show next week. And I know we were not going to bring it up with the coach because he would have downplayed it. But it's a pretty important game.
It's a pretty important game. I mean, you have to understand that USF hasn't beaten Memphis since 2016, and Memphis has been really good in that span, really dominant in this league. And Memphis and USF were picked very high, so obviously this is a big game. This is a game that could decide who goes to the championship game. Nationally, ESPN took notice of it, so it's you can't deny it's a big game, and it's a big road game for USF against a team that hasn't beaten in a long time. So going to Memphis and winning, that will be a big deal.
Yeah, despite their loss, they have a win against Arkansas, and they feel this is a must-win for them. The Memphis Tigers obviously do. And, get a good night's sleep on Friday and be ready to go Saturday at 11 a.m. local time in Memphis. So we'll return in a couple of weeks to, I guess, hopefully talk about another win, but it'll have been 10 days removed, and look forward to the next game at home. We love talking about it. USF giving us a lot to chat about here on Bullseye. For Joey Johnston, for Caylee Cottrell, I'm Darek Sharp. Thanks for checking us out, and as always, keep those horns up.